I don't know if anybody else is live right now and I'm competing with anybody or what, but I'm sure the people on that easy reads will be seeing me for sure. I have been filing police reports this morning and having them check the IP addresses. So that's being investigated for sure. Hey, girl. How are you this afternoon? I'm starting with the spackle. I have a feeling I know who's behind that. Since it's coming out, it seems to be coming out of Arizona, in California, and I will sue the hell. And I remember the night that I was hacked, and I took screenshots of the person who done it, and I took screenshots of the person who asked for my email address. And I happened to turn it into YouTube that night too. Hey Tambo, how are you? So did y'all catch my video on the wording that TBI put out looking for anybody in the general public that may have seen Summer on the 15th? I think they may be finally catching on to the whole day of the 15th may have been planned. And I'm starting to believe that too. That the whole day of the 15th may have just been for show. Something happened maybe on the 13th or the 14th or even days leading up to that. I'm gonna let this dry a minute. The spackle takes a minute to dry. It's really made for just like minor repairs, not for major construction. Maybe I should try 2 coats, huh? Let me pull my fan over here a little bit. When we get off of this live, y'all Google missing Hawkins County, James Carlisle, 2019. And look at that kid's picture. It's almost identical to a couple of pictures released of Summer. Who makes the spackle? It's made by, was it Laura Geller? And it was kind of funny because a friend of mine gave it to me as a Christmas gift. And they had no idea that it was kind of like a running joke about the spackle in the true crime community. I mean, she really gave it to me as like a gift. But I thought it was just like hilarious because of what was going on, it being spackle. I thought, somebody's talking to me there. Okay. Let's see. And I'm going to try this Wonder Nude Illusion Foundation. I got it in my BoxyCharm box a couple of months ago, and I've never really give it a fair run for its money, a good try. So I'm going to try it today. See what happens. Let that set for a minute. I always do under my eyes first to try to, and let it sit, because I get dark circles under my eyes really bad. That is my worst spots, is under my eyes. It doesn't take much of that. It spreads really good, y'all. I mean, like a few dots will do you. Y'all seen that? I mean, it spreads and it's pushing in good. It's a pretty good color match. Does anybody else subscribe to BoxyCharm? I love it. Like, for $25 a month, I get like $200 worth of brand name makeup usually. If anybody wants like the referral link to it, I'll put it out there. But that's not my purpose of doing this. I am not trying to push my link or anything like that. I just love getting that much makeup for the money. It's a good deal. I get nothing off of it whether you subscribe or not. That's pretty decent coverage, y'all, for that little bit that I put on. Which I did wet my sponge just a little bit before I even started. But it didn't make that much of a matter, I don't think. But Dawn and Candace both, and Candace is speaking out now, pretty much strangers YouTube channels, and it's almost like they're trying to change the narrative. It's like the first narrative didn't work, the second narrative didn't work, so let's change the narrative. Now, y'all go back, or I'll post it later, and find not his photography page, but his actual Facebook page, Tim Mullen. And on like June the 16th, well, first of all, on his media wells, he says that he didn't get involved with the case until like a month later, until after she was gone for a month. He lied. It was like 2 days later. No, he's within a week, he says that he's up there. But within a couple of days, he says a little girl wanders off. But the only way a little girl would leave that property was if somebody lured her off with a horse or a puppy. And that would be a strange, to me it was a strange statement for him to make if he did not know that family and had never met that family at that point. And then, within a couple of days, on that press release that Ronnie Lawson does, a horse runs by. Now I'm starting to think the whole damn thing is a production. That was staged and set up. Go back and look at Tim Mullen's original Facebook post about that. I think it was like on June the 6th, 17th, 16th, 17th. That the only way a little girl would leave her property is if somebody lured her off with a puppy or a horse. But he supposedly does not know this family or anything about this situation. And then a few days later, this black horse runs by Ronnie Lawson and the investigators while they're making a press release. Now, what's up with that? And then I find out his name isn't even really Tim Mullins, it's John Mullins, or John Mullen. And by the way, John Mullen, this is not for entertainment purposes. This is for the truth. Because he keeps posting that all these videos are for entertainment purposes, that there is no truth being told. And what I'm telling right now is truth, and this is what I have found this morning. And let me tell y'all something spooky. And I'm not making any accusations, okay? This is just a spooky situation. On June the 14th, he posts that a friend of his, 5-year-old little boy, has just got hours to live. His liver has been failing, okay? This is Tim Mullen. And miraculously, a liver comes available 6 hours before he's supposed to die. And he's rushed to Vanderbilt. Praise the Lord. And then the next thing he posts is the summer solstice is June the 20th at 11:58 p.m. But he has nothing to do with these pagan-ass people at the SDA church. Yes, ma'am. Go look at his Facebook page. Go to Facebook, put in Tim Mullen, Kingport, Tennessee. Ignore the camera page and go to his personal Facebook page. It's got him and his wife's photo on it. And then go all the way to the bottom to June 14th and read about the little boy that's about to die and the liver that comes available. Bam! And then summer comes up missing. The summer solstice is June the 20th. Praise the Lord. The little boy gets a liver. And then the only way that this little girl has left this property is if somebody lured her off with, and he doesn't know this family, a puppy or a horse. And then during the press conference, a darn horse runs by. All right, I'm using this Glowdient. It's a blush highlighter, and I just kind of run the brush across a couple of colors there and highlight. And it doesn't matter if it's dark because I'm going to lighten it with some powder in just a minute anyway. So, yes, go to his Facebook page and y'all read about that and tell me if it's just not creepy to y'all. And like I said, I'm not making any accusations about the little boy with the liver. But here is that Rebecca Cody that is in the church, that's a doctor in Gray, Tennessee. There was somebody that needed a kidney, and praise the Lord, she had two. She had an extra one. So she went to Vanderbilt and she donated a kidney. Praise God. So there's another one. Up in Connecticut, where they're from, William Cody, there was another neighbor that needed a kidney transplant. And praise the Lord, his statement was identical to Rebecca Cody's. The neighbor just needed a kidney, and praise the Lord, he had two. He had an extra one, so he gave him one. Now, I'm not, like I said, this is just all freaky crap. I'm trying real hard to not be a conspiracy channel because of what happened last night when somebody even spoke out and tried to tell the truth about that EZ Read thing that has duplicated all of our channels. Now, y'all watch me make my nose look smaller. I'm going to take this small brush and some bronzer, and I'm going to go right along the side here. And I'm going to go right along the side here. And bam. It doesn't matter if it's dark because I'm going to lighten it. Same thing with my chin. My whole jawbone. I'm just going to go ahead and make my face look thinner. But like I said, please don't take my word for it. Go read it for yourselves. And that's what I have said on every one of my videos. Do not take my word for it. Go read it for yourselves. Because it's freaky. Let's see. What kind of powder do I want to use? I'm going to use the Kat Von D Fair. And first I'm going to go around that line that I made and blend it into my hairline. And my jawline. Alright, Sky, I'll repeat it real quick. Tim Mullen has got a personal Facebook page. First on the Wells Media Manager, he said that he did not know this family until a month after Summer come up missing. That he met Candace at the parade where she was carrying the banner for Summer. According to his personal Facebook page, that's not the truth. He was up there within a week because he says that they're documenting everybody that comes and goes from up there. And he said the only way that a little girl could come up missing off of a property like that is if somebody lured her with a puppy or with a horse. Okay, within a couple of days of that is when you see the horse run by the production crew and Ronnie Lawson during the press conference. So that makes it, to me, seem like that whole part of it was staged now. And he's lying about when he met this family and so on. On June the 14th, one of his friends had a little boy that was 5 that needed a liver transplant. They find out that the little boy is about to die. He's only got hours to live. Well, bam, a liver just comes available right before he dies. They rush him to Vanderbilt to get this liver, and praise God, he survives. Nobody says who this liver donor is or how they got the liver. And then the next thing he posts, after he says he has no connections to this SDA church or their pagan ways, he starts posting about the summer solstice being on June the 20th at 11:58 p.m. If he has no connections to this church or their pagan ass ways, why is he posting about what time the summer solstice is? Don't take my word for any of this. Go read it yourself. And then think back about the way things happened with the way the horse ran through that production line and everything else. Exactly. So it would be just as easy that, that fence was cut and somebody slapped that horse on the rear end and that horse just took off running. Now I'm going to pull that down my neck so I don't have a line on my neck. And I'm going to make sure and do it in circular motions so you can tell it's not pulled. Alright. So he's just got some weird things going on his Facebook. Like I said, I'm not making any accusations. I'm just saying that he has lied and he's weird. And his name isn't just Tim, his name is John. And I don't know why I always do my eyebrows before I do my eyeshadow, but I do. Habit, creature of habit. And I use the, right now I'm using, it's called Tint, T-Y-N-T. And it's brown on one end, black on the other. Let's see. I brought my favorite eye pencils from somewhere. There we go. The man is just strangely weird. And why lie? Oh, and when you look up this guy that had the kid, guess who he works for? Just take a wild guess who this guy works for. 3 letters. 3 letters. Take a wild guess. I'll give y'all just a second. D. Finish it for me. Nope. Nope. And the next letter, C. state of Tennessee. D, there you go, Nancy. Bingo, ding, 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 ding. And this is also a tint pencil in the color bronze. Now this is Swiss chocolate that I put on eyeliner. I'm trying to keep up and tell y'all what I'm using. Let's see what's next. What's next? What's next? And I said, do not take my word for this. Y'all go check it out yourself. It's free information. It is free information today for you to look up yourself. Everything I found out today was free information just by looking through Tim Mullen personal Facebook page. Didn't cost me a dime. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palette. Ew. I'm going to do the crease line first in like a brown color. Because brown goes with everything, no matter what. So what do y'all think about this information I have gave y'all today? I don't pay attention to anything that he posts, Chad. I just don't. And my eyes are green, so I guess I'm going to follow up on the bottom lid. And I'm going to dab that. I'm not going to rub it. I'm going to dab it. And then that top, I am going to get a fluffy pencil and then go with like a peach glitter. And then I'm going to blend it. Make sure I don't have any runoff. What we got here? Nope, don't like that. I'm looking for maybe just an oil or light peach to go on my lips today. I don't feel like doing like a whole lip liner type lip. Because I'm lazy today. We'll do this. And this is just like a cheap lip gloss from Ulta. And it's just really amazing just what a cheap lip gloss will do. There we go, ready to go. Well, I don't appreciate the fact, oops, hang on, that Gigi got attacked the way that she did last night. Just on the principle of trying to tell everybody about their stuff being cloned. They wouldn't even listen to her about that part, much less anything else. They didn't give her a fair shot. And everybody's stuff is cloned by these bots that's been coming into chat. But here's the thing. Somebody's building the bots. Somebody is behind it. The bots just aren't doing it themselves. Right, the little boy was found safe in Florida, but what I wanted you to look at was the resemblance in the eyes and the face. And there's a couple of pictures of Summer at church that looks so much like that little Carmichael boy. Looks a lot like him. And Don's sister Trish insists that there was a baby after Summer. Well, it's not so much that I disagree with the wish list, it's the items on the wish list. I have seen $1,000 computers. I have seen multiple computers. I have seen iPhones. I have seen just ridiculous things. Like on my wish list, I have like a bag of dog food for Cookie. I have like a couple of toys for Cookie. Things like that. I do have like a $80 Chromebook on there, but my wish list isn't just for the people on YouTube. My whole family has got my wish list. Carmichael, Carmichael. Right, I wear like knockoff Crocs. I'll be right back. I need to grab my phone cord, guys. So, like, I actually have stuff for my dog and things to, like, actually, you know, like, be humane on my wish list and stuff. I don't have $100 shoes and things of that nature. But to each their own, I guess. The sad part is that somebody will buy it, though. Even after all the information that's out there, I posted on my video this morning how the TBI has released for people to please, that they are not working with, darn it, I grabbed the wrong phone cord. They are not working with any private individual citizens. And they have been alerted that there are people out there getting donations saying that they're working with the TBI. And they're getting donations in Summers, Maine. And people need to quit giving to that cause. And people are still doing it. And I'm saying, like, not $20 or $30 dropping at a time. I'm seeing like hundreds dropping at a time. But like I said, to each their own. If people can afford to do that for them, but y'all need to go over it before y'all give any more money to people supposedly going to Tennessee. Y'all need to go over to Aussie Insider and take a look. I just spilled a wax candle holder on my hand. Ooh. One of those that plug into the wall. And it hurt. It was hot. I heard that. So, darn, that was hot. Hang on, I need to go wash this off my hands. I'll be right back. And I wonder what the TBI thinks. Sorry about that, guys. That was hot. I wonder what the TBI thinks about this meet and greet in their parking lot. Has anybody called to see what they think about that? I'm already at that site, and like I said, I have filed a police report this morning, and they are pulling all the IP addresses. So let them stay in the chat, because as long as they're there, they are leaving a digital fingerprint. Well, I'm claiming now that the horse running loose may have been a setup. Another production by Wells Media Manager Incorporated. If it walks like a horse and trots like a horse and smells like a horse, then by God, it might be a horse, you know? I mean, like I said, don't take my word for it. Y'all take... It's free information today, and it's on Facebook. Go check it out yourself. Let me see if I can just see that troll. Right there. Remove. Remove. Report. Sorry, this is taking just a minute to report. Alright. I'm not just removing them, I'm reporting them. I'm going to let them leave that digital footprint. I've still got wax drying on my hands, guys. That melted wax is hot when it spills all over, and it got all over me. But anyway, back to it. Like I said, everything I found today, I didn't need an instant background check. I didn't need newspapers. I didn't need anything. Everything was free information. Everything. So go check it out yourself. I don't care if they get my info or not, because they're not going to find out anything about me that I care for them to know. And maybe there's doxing is a punishable offense in two ways. If they dox a state employee and a government employee. And I am one of the two. So when they do that, it's punishable by jail. So let them do it. And I'm almost to the point where I'm ready to do it anyway, because I have nothing to hide from anybody. I just monetized, and I've not even filled out the information thing yet that's got my name, my address, social security number to be paid or anything like that. So they're not, I've not even got around to doing that. So they're not really going to get much. But y'all, tell me what you think about the horse thing. Just like y'all think back to the production or where they're doing the conference and the red truck passes by, the red Toyota truck. And Ronnie Lawson laughs just a little bit. He kind of snickers under his breath. Now, it's a newer Toyota truck than what they're looking for, and it doesn't have racks on it. But it is a red Toyota or a maroon colored Toyota truck. And he does kind of snicker under his breath. So we have two press conferences, one with the horse and one with the red Toyota truck. One, we have Tim Mullen saying within a day or two of her coming up missing, the only way a little girl would come up missing off that property is if somebody lured her off with a puppy or a horse. And then the press conference is there where the horse runs by. And then the next press conference, a red Toyota truck comes by after they're talking about the red Toyota truck. Look, only so many coincidences can happen. That's what I'm saying. Coincidence. Did all that not hit y'all as strange when it was happening like that? Well, see, that's another thing. You know, that little Trent girl was found on, found by Donnie Lawson. But there's a gag order on her case still to where you can't even go to the jail and talk to that man about the case where her uncle is in jail. You cannot even get on his visiting list without being pre-approved. I've already checked into that. There is something definitely strange about this whole thing. And it seems like everybody is just turning a blind eye to the obvious evidence that is there. And like I said, I'm a country girl, and I've got some Native American in me, and let me tell you, I can handle gravel in my feet, and I can handle being barefooted. But when you get out in that rough terrain, it's going to cut your feet. I don't care how tough the bottom of the soles of your feet is. It's going to cut them. And if she went 0.63 miles, there would have been a blood trail. If she would have walked barefooted 2 point something miles, she would have cut her feet and her legs on something. There would have been even a shred of cloth off her clothes somewhere. And if somebody would have took her on horseback, there would have been horse hoof prints. And a dog would have smelt a horse quickly. And it wouldn't have just been here or there. It would have been all the way. So for them to say, well, she just wandered off and got lost. Now, it is possible two things happen simultaneously. That she met two bad fates at the same time. Candace or Don one could have been smacking her in her head, and she took off running, and she hid in those woods somewhere. 45 minutes to an hour later, when they started searching for her, and one of those registered sex offenders that they had out there searching for her, like they didn't have any better sense, at that point in time, could have picked her up and took off with her and thought, well, she's already reported missing. This is my best chance to take off with a child. Then you've got two bad things running concurrent. My first question to the TBI newsroom and to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department is why? And you need your asses sued. Why did you have RSOs searching for a missing 5-year-old? That first 0.63 miles she could have traveled running from Dawn and Candace or her brothers, or a situation that they put her in from somebody that was trying to cause her harm at that house, and she was hiding, burrowed down somewhere. And then once that search started, she ran across a RSO and met her existing fate as whatever it is that we know it. Right, Lady R, that whole area seems to be, it's more like 86% of that area seems to be either RSOs or drug offenders, and serious drug offenders. Y'all should just see all the neighbors' rap sheets. And I mean all the neighbors. Well, see, I've even put that possibility out. That, you know, the way even Jody Sue was making those videos day before and being hostile. And she's driving and she's paying attention only to that camera, and she's cussing and she's carrying on. And Summer could have been actually playing hide and seek and walking down that road. And she come around that corner and hit her. And then Andy had to do whatever he had to do. That is a possibility. And it's on the table. It's on the table for me. Because we all seen her not paying attention to her driving, making videos while she was driving. And again, this is not an accusation, this is just a theory that is on the table. I think, see, I'm trying to look in the areas of what Don and Candace Itten's saying. They're trying to change the narrative at this point. They're trying to make us look here. They're trying to make us look here. They're trying to make us look here. I'm trying to look where they're not pointing. Because they don't care to point the finger and make up these stories about this person and this person and this person. But I'm trying to look at what they're not saying. What they refuse to say. Now, I do believe that Jody Sue may have heard her screaming, "What did you do? What did you do?" But who was she actually screaming at? Was she screaming at the son, or was she screaming at her mother? Now, it was assumed that she was screaming at the son. But is there a possibility that she was screaming at her mom? Big question mark there. Did the mom start to leave the driveway to sell pills and backed over somewhere? Right, Sky, because that's one of my theories, that Hunter was at that property all along. My original theory was, and this goes back to Candace saying many, many, many times in the beginning, those boys could go down to the creek only if they had their knives and only if they had the walkie-talkies, which meant that there was always a walkie-talkie left at the house for one of the adults. I think that maybe Candace and Hunter was in the house getting high or fooling around, and they were all sent down to the creek or outside to play. I think that they went down to the creek. I think that they were playing hide and seek. I think Summer climbed up into that hunting blind. There was one board that was sticking out and weak, about that far, and it was bowed. I think she fell out that hunting blind. And if you look where that hunting blind was, there was some flat limestone rock. And if her head hit that limestone rock, that would have been enough. That would have been enough. And I say that because when my brother passed away, he fell 2 stories off a roof. He was roofing a house, and he fell off the house, and he hit a piece of flat limestone rock like that. And the impact of the limestone rock caused blunt force trauma to his brain. And that's what took his life. So when I seen that limestone rock right up underneath that, that crossed my mind. Well, I put that theory out there, okay? And the next thing I know, Dawn tore down the hunting blind. The hunting blind is no longer there. Why did he take down the hunting blind after I put that theory out there? Yes, really, go back and listen to my video where it says something about let's discuss my theory or something. Um, I, as far as Jody Sue walking through the creek, EquiSearch said that that property and that creek was so full of hypodermic needles that it was dangerous to their crew. But she's talking about walking barefoot in this creek where they throw hypodermic needles. I don't buy that. So what was Jody Sue really doing down there at the bottom of that creek? Evidently, Don and Andy shows up about the same time. Now, in the video where Don is showing us the route that he takes home, he says, "We turned right here. This is where we turned." And he slips up a couple of times and he says that. And if you go back to that video, he's standing in front of that hunting blind and he is staring blankly at that hunting blind for just several, like a minute or two. And he's almost got tears in his eyes right there. Like he is actually remembering something that occurred right there. And I said in the beginning that I thought that maybe the child was stashed at the 125 address or at their 5600 Long Star Road address until after all the investigators left that night. That refrigerator had nothing to do with it because the doors would not lock. But nothing was said about them owning that address at 5600 Lone Star Road too, and that was just a couple of minutes away from where that last picture of Summer was taken. Y'all remember they said that picture was taken of her on Lone Star Road? Go back and pull the property records. I'm not telling you anything I have not told the TBI. Well, the property was in Andy's mother and father's name, or grandparents' name, or whatever. Thank you, April. And I have put that question out there for Jody Sue to even just send me an answer back on that question for a month now or longer And I can't get an answer back on that question about how she was walking barefoot in an area the EquiSearch was scared to death to even be around. So that would be my accident theory. If I had to have an accident theory, that would be my accident theory. I don't know. I just know when you go onto Google Earth, it's not there anymore. And in recent pictures that I've seen where other people is on the property, it's not there anymore. The 178 Beach Creek Road address shows that it has multiple unfinished basements in it, according to one of the realty companies, if that is a reliable source. Right, Pete. That's a good question you just asked there. And with all that screaming going on, you've got people screaming for boys, you've got boys screaming for summer, you've got mothers screaming for summer, you maybe got grandma screaming for summer. Maybe all these screams together are carrying across that sentinel and sounding animalistic. And maybe that's why they're saying the scream is unfounded, because you've got so much hollering going on at one time. And it could be because everybody's times are off. And somebody made, I don't remember whose video I was watching this morning, but somebody made a good point. They said in every missing child case that they've ever worked and we've ever worked, the point is to get the pictures out there, to get the missing information out there, whether it be posters, whether it be videos, whether it be whatever. It's to get the missing child's pictures out there. But in Summer's case, Candace comes on video and says, nobody has a right, not YouTube, not Facebook, not anybody posting pictures or any, nobody has a right to Summer's pictures except her and Don. There you go. And y'all keep in mind, when I researched abducted children for the last 40 years, even John Bonet, you would think as popular as that child was and as public as she was, that if anybody had a PR manager, it would have been the Ramseys. But they didn't. All they had was defense attorneys and liaisons through the police departments. In the last 40 years, the only case I could find where any child's family had used a PR manager was the Elizabeth Smart case. And that was because her father was trying to leave the LDS church because he was gay. And the church would not let him leave. And that's the route that he chose to take, was to just go public with the whole case. I'll check it in just a minute, Fox. My phone is all that I have, so I can't do things simultaneously. But y'all remember that Don threatened to put out a false confession for this $1 million book that he was going to put out. And I warned y'all about this book a couple of months ago through that UPA 7 publishing company. Hold on. Video, so just hang tight. Cookie. So there's that too. Oh, she had sandals on. I understood that she was barefooted. Alright, guys. Well, I had company come in, and I've been on here for like 71 minutes, 72 minutes. So it's going to take a little while for the video to even upload. But do your homework. Don't take my word for it. Y'all jump over to Facebook. Look up Tim Mullen. Get his personal Facebook page, not the videographer or the camera page. Go down to June 14th and start working your way up. And any super chats would be appreciated. It would all go for research and research materials. If anybody wants to leave anything, or I will accept through PayPal or Cash App. And if y'all just can't do it right now, right after Christmas, that's all understandable. I just appreciate your support and being here and listening to me and everything, and being my subscribers. But I love you guys, and I will see y'all either after a while or tomorrow. Thank you, Ursa. I appreciate that so much. I love those little hippos. That is, like, super cool. I've never seen that one before. But y'all have a good night, and y'all jump over there and do your research. Bye-bye. Love y'all too.